Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Tips, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can remove seams and gaps in miniatures without having to use green stuff. Now for this video you will need a couple of things. First of all, you'll need some plastic glue. You'll also need a hobby knife, I'm using a scalpel in this case, and also a piece of plastic miniature that you want to assemble. In this case it's the burst cannon from a Tau stealth suit. Now what we want to do first of all is we want to apply some glue along the edges here like we normally would do. However, what we want to do is with the glue we want to apply a little bit more than probably what is necessary. And we want to focus this application around the edges like so, and just making sure I get enough onto these two seams, because this is where the actual join is going to be. And if I press these two sections together like so, just grab that panel there, press it in, you will see that the actual glue starts to squeeze out of the join. And that's fine, that's what we actually want to achieve in this case. As you can see here, it's squeezing out the bottom as well. And what we want to do is we want to hold this tight, let it dry with the seam emitting from the join there, and leave it just for a couple of minutes. So once the glue has dried, you will notice that we have this seam here. Now this is quite an unsightly seam. Once this miniature is painted, it will really stand out and really detract from the overall look of the miniature. Now what we want to do now is we want to use our hobby knife to remove this seam. Now I'm going to be dragging the blade perpendicular to the seam. So the seam goes this way, so I'm going to drag the blade like so. And as I'm dragging it across the surface, I'm just applying a small amount of pressure, and that will actually start to lift off the overspilt glue that we had from the previous step, and it'll actually start to smooth everything down. You can just about see it starting to happen here, and this creates a nice smooth surface. And it still looks like it's there, but actually if you run your finger over it, you can't actually start feeling it then. And it actually is a really nice and simple way of removing simple seams like this without having to use any green stuff filler. Simply just apply a little bit more glue than you probably would necessarily need to have, and then rub a hobby knife over the top. Now you can use a hobby file for this, and on the other side of here I've actually I've used a hobby file on this side. Now personally I prefer to use the knife as opposed to the file, because it tends to give you better control, especially in areas where it's a little bit more tricky to actually get the blade in there, but it is down to personal preference. Now just as proof that this actually does work, if I just bring in a part of Ghost Keel that I'm currently working on, you can see here, if you've built this miniature, you know that there's actually a seam that runs along this section here, and you can see it's been filled in using this technique. You can just about make out a very tiny line there, but that's only under this very bright light, and only really if you're looking for it. So it really does work, and I haven't used any green stuff on this actual miniature itself. This is all just using the technique that I've discussed in this video. So that's it for another episode of Quick Tips. Please do let me know in the comments below what you would like to see in future Quick Tip videos, and also make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all my future content. So until next time, thanks for watching, and goodbye.